Did you know there exists in women an instinct so ruthless, so unyielding, it can rip apart marriages, crush years of loyalty, and leave the ashes of a once perfect life smoldering in the dust, sometimes in less than a week? Carl Jung didn't just stumble on this force. He unearthed it like a buried weapon, a weapon forged in the most ancient fires of human evolution. And what he discovered shook the entire field of psychology because it revealed something terrifying. Inside the female mind moves a primal command older than morality itself. A program wired into her blood, running beneath the surface of her smiles, her love, her vows, even beneath her own awareness. It is stronger than love, colder than logic, and when it awakens, it will override every promise, every prayer, every dream she thought she wanted. This is why a woman can love you fiercely today and feel nothing tomorrow. Why she can abandon the man who gives her the world yet obsess over the man who gives her nothing but his indifference. Why she sometimes sabotages her own stability, burns bridges she spent years building, and walks straight into chaos with eyes wide open. Because she isn't choosing chaos. Chaos is choosing her. Jung called this instinct the best-kept secret in the psychology of women. A silent, biological imperative carved into the female brain across thousands of years of brutal survival. It doesn't care about your romance, your future plans, or your feelings. It has one goal: secure the strongest possible genetic legacy for the next generation, no matter the cost. And here's the part men hate to hear: this instinct doesn't run on your money, your kindness, or your devotion. It doesn't care how many nights you stayed up comforting her tears or paying her bills. Those things matter to her rational mind, yes. They soothe her. They create comfort. They make sense in the daylight. But this instinct? It comes from the dark. It comes from a world where weakness meant death. Where the calm, gentle man was not the protector but the prey. In that ancient world, the man who carried dominance, arrogance, unpredictability, and danger in his very posture wasn't the mistake. He was the lifeline. And even today, under the glow of city lights and wedding vows, that instinct hasn't died. It sleeps inside her, waiting for a signal. Here is where everything changes. She may say she wants stability. She may believe she craves safety, kindness, and emotional closeness. She may swear it on everything holy that all she wants is a man who will love her endlessly. And she will mean it. Until this instinct awakens. Then the same woman who once prayed for devotion will feel an electric, uncontrollable pull toward men who carry the marks of danger in their eyes. Suddenly, arrogance feels like safety. Emotional distance feels like mystery. Risk-taking smells like power. She won't sit down and weigh the pros and cons. She won't write a list or consult her friends. Because it's not a decision. It's a hijacking. Jung wrote about women who described it perfectly. I didn't feel like myself. They said it like a confession, like an apology to everything they destroyed while under its spell. They abandoned marriages. They ignored reason. They rewrote their entire lives overnight. Not because they wanted to. Because something older than wanting had taken control. And the cruelest part? This instinct doesn't even need love to function. A woman can love a man with all her heart, carry his child, share his bed for 20 years, and still feel this ancient gravity pull her toward another man who triggers this deep biological alarm. That's why relationship advice collapses under its weight. Logical arguments, heart-to-heart talks, promises of forever, they all mean nothing when this ancient switch flips. Because this programming was never designed for logic. It was designed to silence logic. In the ancient world, it wasn't about happiness. It wasn't about romance or emotion. It was about survival. About bloodlines that outlasted famine, war, disease. This instinct was nature's insurance policy. It didn't care about your feelings then. It doesn't care about them now. Modern society calls it reckless. Psychology calls it impulsive. But nature calls it necessary. Jung understood this better than anyone. He wrote about how this instinct floods the female brain with dopamine, adrenaline, euphoria, the same chemicals that drive hunger and thirst. It doesn't just whisper. It screams through her nervous system until the man who triggers it becomes the only reality that exists. That's why she can rewrite history in a heartbeat. Why she can convince herself her old life was a mistake. Why she can justify the unjustifiable. Because her rational mind isn't in control anymore. This instinct is. It doesn't care about your years together. It doesn't care how much sense you make on paper. It doesn't even care about her own future happiness. It wants one thing, the strongest possible outcome for the next generation. And it will burn everything else to the ground to get it. This is why so many men wake up blindsided. Why they say she changed overnight. Why they never saw it coming. Because they don't understand the thing inside her that's older than vows, older than morality, older than love itself. And once you understand it, you will never look at her choices the same way again. Men think love is enough. They think devotion buys loyalty. They imagine a woman's heart is won by sacrifice, by showering her with comfort, by bending their backs until they break. And that's why so many men get blindsided. Because they do not understand the law written into her bones. This instinct, this ancient, merciless program, does not reward comfort. It punishes it. The moment she senses a man has given her everything, the moment she knows his world spins entirely around her, that's the moment the instinct starts whispering, this one is finished. This one has surrendered. This one is safe, too safe. And safety, in the ancient code, doesn't breed desire. It breeds indifference. That's why the man who gives her nothing but his silence, his danger, his dominance, stays burned into her mind like a brand. He carries the signal that he cannot be owned. That his attention is rare. That his power does not bend for her, or for anyone. Her biology reads that as strength. Her body floods her brain with craving before she can even understand why. It doesn't matter if he is reckless. It doesn't matter if he will ruin her life. Her blood remembers. It remembers the cave fires, the screams in the dark, the centuries when only the ruthless survived long enough to pass on their genes. And suddenly, everything she swore she wanted, the gentle man, the loyal man, the man who gave her his entire soul, feels invisible next to the one who awakens this ancient hunger. She doesn't choose this. It chooses her. That's the truth most men can't face. They think they can reason with it. They think flowers and poems and promises can fight 1,000,000 years of evolution. They can't. Because when this instinct awakens, it doesn't just stir emotions. It rewires perception itself. The same traits that felt boring yesterday feel magnetic today. The same distance that once hurt her now feels like power. The same danger that once scared her now drags her closer like a flame pulling a moth to its own death. And here is the brutal reality Jung uncovered: she will burn down her own life for this. She will justify it, dress it in excuses, call it fate, call it soulmates, call it whatever she needs to sleep at night. But underneath the pretty words, it was biology pulling the strings the whole time. And when it's over, when the chaos settles, when the instinct sleeps again, when she looks around at the ruins of what she destroyed, she will not even fully understand why she did it. Because it wasn't her. It was the program running through her veins. The one older than civilization, older than love, older than the very language she uses to explain herself. And the cruelest part? It will happen again. Because this instinct doesn't care about the past. It doesn't care how much pain it caused last time. It only cares about one thing, the signal of power. Show it, and she will follow. Lose it, and she will leave. That is the law. And laws this old do not break. Most men never learn this law. They stay blind, soft, predictable, believing love is a negotiation, a fair trade of effort for loyalty. And because of that, they lose everything. But the few who understand, they stop playing the wrong game. Because this instinct does not answer to love. It answers to power. Not money, not compliments, not blind devotion. Power. The kind that cannot be begged for or faked. The kind that radiates from a man who does not need her approval to breathe. This is the brutal truth. A woman's biology was never designed to be moved by men who worship her. It was designed to be conquered by men who lead themselves. Men whose presence carries weight. Men who can walk away without flinching. When you understand this, you stop chasing. You stop explaining yourself. You stop over-investing. You stop bleeding out your value in the name of being a good man. Because her instincts don't even see the man who surrenders. They only see the man she cannot completely own. Jung hinted at this, but modern men refuse to hear it. The moment you hand her the throne of your life, her desire begins to die. Slowly at first, then all at once. She might thank you. She might appreciate you. She might even love you in a comfortable, familiar way. But desire? That belongs to the man she cannot control. Not the reckless fool who confuses chaos with strength, but the man who carries calm power, who moves through life like nothing can bend him, not even her beauty, her emotions, or her threats to leave. Because deep down, every woman is waiting for the signal that says, "This man does not need me, but he has chosen me." That's the razor's edge. That's where obsession is born. Give her everything, and she will take it and vanish. Give her nothing, and she will starve and leave. But give her a man she cannot fully claim, whose attention feels like a prize, not a handout, and the ancient program inside her lights up like fire in dry grass. Understand this law, and you stop being the victim of her instincts. You become the storm that triggers them. Because here's the dark secret, she doesn't want a man she can own. She wants a man she can lose. That threat, the possibility that you can walk away, that you have the strength to turn your back without hesitation, wakes up the same code that made her ancestors chase the men who carved empires out of the wilderness. Modern men think this is manipulation. It's not. It's biology. For thousands of years, only the men who carried power in silence, in presence, in action, were desired without end. The weak gave gifts. The strong gave nothing but themselves. And the female brain has never forgotten. So learn this law. Live it. Let your presence carry weight. Let your life matter outside of her. Let her feel, in her bones, that you are not a man who bends easily. Because when she knows she can lose you, that's when she will fight to keep you. Most men will never wake up. They will live and die as offerings on the altar of this instinct, bleeding out devotion, obedience, and comfort, while she dreams of the man she can't control. You will see it everywhere once your eyes open. The husband who worships his wife like a goddess, only to watch her drift toward chaos. The boyfriend who bends over backwards to give her everything, only to be left for a man who gives her nothing but a smirk in his absence. The nice, loyal, predictable men, chewed up and discarded, over and over, because they never learned the law. And the law is this: desire follows power, not pity. Power in your presence. Power in your silence. Power in your willingness to walk away. The man who carries that energy bends the instinct itself. He doesn't chase it. He doesn't beg it to stay. He makes it kneel because it cannot do anything else. This is why the arrogant man, the untamed man, the man with standards so high they slice through her excuses like glass, this is why he stays burned into her thoughts long after he's gone. Because her biology doesn't care if he loves her. It only cares if he can't be conquered. That is the trigger. The danger isn't in treating her badly. That's weakness dressed in chaos. Any fool can do that. The danger is in treating her well while never folding, never groveling, never allowing her beauty or her emotions to rule your life. That is the man who keeps her guessing. That is the man who keeps her chasing. Because he is the man she can lose. Understand this: the moment she feels she owns you completely, the instinct goes silent. The moment she knows you will never walk away, desire dies. That's when she starts testing. That's when she pulls away, stirs chaos, creates drama, not because she wants to leave, but because she needs to feel the edge again. She needs to feel the weight of your power, the possibility of loss, the reminder that she is not the center of your universe. The men who fail these tests explain themselves. The men who pass them say nothing. Silence is the language of power. Jung understood this before anyone else. He saw that beneath all the layers of civilization, the female instinct still bows to the man who cannot be shaken. Not the tyrant. Not the abuser. But the man whose soul is untouchable, whose attention is a reward, not a guarantee. That man does not chase. He does not argue. He does not break. He walks through her storms like a lion through tall grass, unmoved, untamed, undeniable. And the instinct kneels. It always has. It always will. Because in the language of her blood, the man she cannot fully claim is the only man worth craving.